Hey, what's up, guys? Today's video is going to be pretty cool. We're going to talk about when we can expect to see our next topping period in Bitcoin. So, if you're interested to see when we may top out again, check the video out, okay? Before I continue, it's not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. Past performance is never an indicator of future performance. So research, research, research. Don't listen to what I say. Don't listen to what Joe Crypto has to say. Do your own research, trust your own intuition, and if you really agree with the analysis or maybe have your own support, then I hope this channel assists you in your decision making and maybe teaches you a little something about technical analysis. Here to educate, here to share, my thoughts and opinions, and that's really it. All right. So diving into the video, I was studying the time patterns of Bitcoin when it was seeing a lot of their topping patterns and bottoming patterns, and there are a couple of key time periods that I think we should really start focusing in on when we're determining when we're going to sell and when we are going to buy. And this is a signal that I used beforehand, before this $13,000 move. I personally, I really thought that there was going to be a lot of pullback around 6,000, but we just kind of shot through and we got to the point where I eventually thought we'd get to, and that was the long-term selling point. So I think we've been bearish on this channel for so long just because the first video we made was at 13,500 and we were looking for the buying opportunities, and it wasn't until November, December where we really started to see, like, okay, I think we're starting to see confirmation, like this is definitely going to be a bottoming. And now we're kind of in a bull market, so where are we going to top out, and what are the price targets, and what are the indicators what are the clues that we're going to use, that we are going to use to tell us that, hey, we may be topping out. I'm going to explain it now. So just keep in mind that the two periods that I think the two periods you really want to focus on are between, the end of quarter two, the beginning of quarter three, and the end of quarter four and the beginning of quarter one. So around May to July and from November to January, those are usually important, either topping periods or bottoming periods for Bitcoin price. So let's just look at, the top of this last run, and keep in mind, I think it was around this time where Silk Road got shut down, Ross Ulbricht got arrested. It was around 2013. So, and then we kind of went down, corrected, and then it really started shooting up. And then this is when I believe the Mt. Gox hacks happened a little sometime after this topping period. And, it just shows you that these things are usually priced in before. So when we hear news, it's priced in way before. So you can expect the halving you could expect some sort of run before the halving and a topping period where people are really going to start FOMOing in after the halving. So I think, we started seeing that sell off, and the top right here was December 2nd. All right, this was December time, and then, in June we had like a midterm top before a huge sell off. December ended up being a bottoming period here, and we saw almost the exact same thing in this previous run where we topped out in December. July time we did see a little bump right before an extended sell-off into December. So just something interesting to note. Then, after this bottoming period, when we really started to kind of first touch this top resistance line before a big sell-off, this was like an intermediary top. It was in July time. July 15th, right around that week. And then 6 months later, in December, we saw a topping period again. June, topping period. December, topping period. And then we saw, kind of a push against this red line a month later. And, that happened so soon, we just kind of broke out. So here, it looked like it was trying to break out really hard that second test, and it failed. This time around, it kind of broke through. And by June, we had a midterm topping period. And then we had a little correction here, and then we topped out, December, 6 months later. So every 6 months we're seeing a topping period. Now, when were we seeing the bottom? I just want to, that's not good. So when were we seeing a bottoming period? So annoying. Oh my god. Alright, I'm just not gonna deal with that now. Ignore that arrow. No, it's bugging me too much. It's bugging me. It's bugging me. Oh my god. You guys, I'm gonna kill someone. Alright guys, I super apologize for that. I just really wanted to get that arrow in there. And alright, good. We are good. So when were we seeing the bottoming periods? So if you look closely, we're topping out. When we were testing this red resistance line, we're doing it roughly every 6 months until, leading up to breaking out of it. Then we kind of saw a retest and just a big jump. But we would see a major correction even from this top roughly, very quickly. Within anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, we are seeing the bottom. So we saw bottom, we topped out July, we bottomed out in August, topped out in December, bottomed out in January, topped out here in June, we bottomed out. Look, this was the halvening. These blue lines represent the halvenings, or the halvings, however you say it. And then we bottomed out in August, few weeks later, topped out, topped out in December, bottomed out in January, topped out in March, bottomed out in March, same time, every time we touched that red line, and then we topped out in June, bottomed out in July. So we're seeing those corrections fairly quickly. And the second time around, I think we're starting to see a kind of trend change. Whereas we're topping out every 6 months here, it seems that these topping periods are taking a lot longer. So the second time around, after we bottomed out in December, we topped out in June, which was completely normal, but this correction took 6 months. So this was a lot longer than before. And if you notice, over those 8 weeks, we kind of had that descending triangle forming, and we didn't really have any sharp sell-off like we did here. And that could be due to, the volume wasn't as high, or, this is a much more saturated market, so there's a little more price stability. Not to say that, that's not really saying much considering how volatile Bitcoin is. But we, typically when we saw the second retest of the red line, we're actually seeing a bottoming period. So 6 months from now, we started seeing that bottoming period in December. And I think what's going to set up now is it's going to take 6 months to, I think we're going to start topping out towards this red line. We'll start working towards this red line, and we should be topping out somewhere between May, even let's just say late April to July. I think we're going to want to keep our eye out to, if we hit this red resistance line between this time period, then I think it's safe to assume that this could be another major top, unless of course we not only break over this and close, but the next week we don't sell off, or within that same week we don't sell off. All right, so I'm expecting a few more rejections, at least one, um, maybe you know, 1, 2, 3, maybe 2 to 3 more rejections, including this one. So I don't think we're gonna break through that line straight away, this red resistance line, because once we get on top of this, things really start picking up fast and it starts going parabolic. Now, if we were to break up sooner, that means we'd probably see our top a lot sooner, as soon as, you know, the end of this year. If we were to break it, we may see the top at the end of 2020. But if we see the rejection and then we start, you know, we find another bottoming period, and then, you know, we go up in June, it's quite possible that we could have, you know, we go up in June, we go down, and then sometime between the end of 2021, or we might just break up after June 2021, break up over here, have a big move, and then correct, hit that huge fib level that we talked about at 82,000. You can watch our previous video to learn about those future resistance and support levels for Bitcoin once we pass 20,000, and then we could kind of make that move and maybe have a topping, a long-term top here in 2021. And I think then we might break this channel and go into a multi-year correction. So this trend seems to be moving a lot differently compared to last time, and I think that has to do with the popularity and the knowledge that a lot of people have, and just basically, you know, the hash rate's higher, the volume's a lot higher, there's more people in the market. The more people that are in Bitcoin, it creates more price stability. So I think, you know, to see a 6-month correction and then to bottom out in December, that's really telling us that this trend where we were topping out at this red line every 6 months is probably not going to be the case anymore, where we're topping out every 6 months. It may, in fact, take a little longer. So we may see less touches of the red line, but it does provide a lot more opportunity when we're buying at these dips. So I'm expecting to see a topping pattern around here in, you know, May, June, July, and then once we, you know, tether up, we short, whatever we choose to do, I'm probably going to start, you know, taking profits once we hit the red line, especially if it's in that time period. And I'm going to look for, you know, are we going to see a sharp sell-off very quickly? Or, you know, is it going to be an extended kind of consolidation, then huge drop like this last time around? That's going to take about 6 months to correct. So I'm going to be targeting this blue line right here, but it's quite possible that we could bottom out, like, you know, somewhere around here in August, right? So we're going to be keeping our eye out for those two scenarios. I think if we see a very, very sharp sell-off capitulation type move, then that could be the bottoming, and we could see that come a lot quicker. But if not, maybe we can just assume that this trend will happen again, where we're gonna just kind of move down, move down, move down, and maybe we'll hit the bottom of the channel again, or maybe this purple resistance line that I've been drawing, I think it seems to be quite significant. And even right now, you know, if I zoom in, it seems that we found a lot of support here, and now we're starting to see resistance here. We saw a sharp sell-off through, we saw low support right there in confluence with this channel line, and now we're kind of seeing resistance. So, you know, this thing's moving so fast, who's to say that it doesn't keep moving? Or, you know, maybe here we do see a small correction before continuing up again and, you know, breaking past this purple line. So is it possible that, you know, this new purple line, this trend line that's forming, is it possible that this proves to be the new buying opportunity, or are we going to kind of, you know, do this and bottom out right here? So, you know, that's to be determined. Not really too sure right now. I think we're just gonna have to play that by ear and see how fast we sell off once we top. And I think we're gonna also want to see, if we continue to have closes under this purple line, then that will be very, very important. No upgrades. Maybe when we get to 20,000, maybe I'll upgrade to a pro account then. Just don't feel the need for it. Don't need too many indicators, dude. You guys, you just draw lines everywhere. You use your moving averages. You let's actually look at the 21 because it's been a while, but we've definitely reclaimed it. I think it's possible that we can kind of retest it. We retested it once. Right now, what's it at? 8,300. I could definitely see us retesting this 21-week moving average one more time. And then just really starting shooting up, moving towards all-time highs again. So that's kind of what we're expecting, guys. I think we're gonna see a topping in June, and maybe we'll see the bottoming in December, and then maybe we'll see our next top in June of 2021. And what are the levels that we're looking at? Well, if we start topping out in June, July time, we're looking at targets of 26,000, 28,000. I think it's possible that we get up to about 30. We could probably get up to 30, 32. And then I'm going to really want to start taking profits, especially if we start wicking above here. Probably sell half the position there, play it by ear, see if we get a little wick up like we did last time, and then sell the rest. That was my strategy last time. And then kind of just like, see, if we get rejected there and start moving down, then maybe I'll sell on, as we start coming down. Really gonna just play it by ear. But anyways, that's gonna be around, anywhere from, if we top out in May, because that's possible too, it could be 24,000 to 29, 30,000. And that's why I'm expecting us to top out sometime in July this time. We topped out at the end of June, and I think, based off the resistance points that I drew out in the video where we're predicting, is 330,000 inevitable. I talk about a lot of those resistant points, and one big future resistant point seems to be, that 30,000 area. So at the red line, it seems to be right there around end of July, but I think it's possible that, if we have it happen sooner, we could just wake up and really hit it quick and then kind of start correcting again. Okay. This video is a little longer than most videos, but I really wanted to emphasize these points because I felt like it was really important. So if we were to get a sell-off again in a fairly quick sell-off by August, that means that we could be, this thing could start moving fast again, and we could start approaching new highs again. And the next topping period is going to be around 42,000. If we sell off really quick, 6 months later we can hit it. That's absolutely possible that we do that. We sell off quick. Or, if we have a bottoming at the bottom of this channel again, which is very possible. We don't know if this blue purple line is going to serve as the same support that this blue line served as in the last run. So I think it's important to really just play that by ear. We're trying to predict where the next line is going to be. It does look like there's a lot of resistance here, and it does look like there was a lot of support in the way we broke through. It does seem like it could be a significant line. So if we sell off quick, get below that line, then I'm going to look for buying opportunities. And I think that could be, a local bottom. It could come a lot quicker, kind of like that last run. Fucking ads. Do you get ads if there's a pro account? If you have pro account, do you get ads? If not, then I might just get the pro account. So, Are we going to see that, or are we going to see a 6-month correction, and are we going to bottom again in December? That remains to be seen, and if that happens, we could be looking at a price target of about 15,000. We could be looking for a 15,000 buy, anywhere between there, 14 to 16,000 if we bottom out after 6 months, if we see another 6-month correction. And then if we top out, in June 2021, it's going to be around that 67,000 level. In July, August, it could be 72,000, and that 80,000 mark was another key resistant point that we're going to be looking at. So who's to say we hit 72 in July, have a wick up to about 80, and then start correcting again, right? And then maybe we correct up until December time. I'll just say December, it's kind of in the middle. Then that'd be, correcting down to 33,000. Don't think that's going to happen. I think this blue line, if it could really play a role, I think we could kind of correct around 50,000 and it'll start pushing up and we'll really start going parabolic in the latter half of 2021. Of course, it can move faster, so we're not really too sure. But I think we covered a lot today. I hope this video is useful. I think this is probably going to be. I think this is the best video to date, simply because not just because there was a top or even the video where we were calling bottoms. I think it's important to understand that this thing moves fast and it has very explosive movements, and sometimes you could take profits too early. Sometimes it'll be so explosive you might just want to hold it for something that may not happen. How many people were holding at 13 and 11,000 thinking we're going straight to 20, right? So if you're really trying to maximize on these swings in Bitcoin, it's important to understand these patterns. So for me personally, I really want to see, one, us hit the red line, and two, it happen between the end of quarter 2, beginning of quarter 3, that May to even the late April to end of July time. I want to see a topping around there. Or I want to see a topping or bottoming around December, right? November to January. We want to see a bottom or we want to see another top. So like I said, those time periods seem to really paint a pretty clear picture on where Bitcoin price action is around those time periods. So I think they're very important, and I think this video it could really help you understand the way this market moves. And yeah, leave any comments, subscribe, like, comment. I really want to see discussions, more discussions. I know not too many subscribers now, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the content and you find it useful, and you're maybe making good money, making good trades, or learning technical analysis and you're applying this to another market. That would be the best. If you've learned anything from this, leave a comment down below. Let me know I'm doing something right. All right, but that's it, guys. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you in the next video. All right.